Welcome back, student. Today we read the fifth chapter of Environmental Studies Part 2. The name of chapter is Shivaji's Education. Beginning of the Shivaji's education. Shahaji Raje himself was a scholar of the Sanskrit. In the Bangalore court, he had under his patronage artists and scholars of various languages. He appointed intelligent teachers for Shivaji. Shivaji's education began when he became 7 years old. Soon, Shivaji became skilled in the art of reading and writing. He began to read the stories from Ramayana, Mahabharata, and Bhagavad on his own. To teach him warfare, Shahaji Raje had appointed some teachers. They began to teach Shivaji to ride a horse, to wrestle, to use swords and dandpatta. Thus, at the age of 12, Shivaji became acquainted with different branches of learning and arts. Soon, Adil Shah sent Shahajiraje on an expedition to conquer the state of Nayakas, that is, local chief in Karnataka. Before setting out upon the expedition, Shahajiraje sent Shivaji and Jizabai to Pune. With them, he sent elephants, horses, and infantry, a treasury, a flag, as also trusted ministers, brave generals, and renowned teachers. Rejuvenation of Pune. Jizabai and Shivaji returned to Pune. Shivaji remembered his childhood days which he had spent on Shivneri. He could see the lofty peaks of the Sahyadri again and he became very happy. Pune at that time was not such a big city. It was totally devastated by Shahaji Raje's enemy. Properties were damaged, houses were demolished, temples had collapsed, the frightened people had fled from their villages. Fields had become barren, thick forest had grown, wolves roamed in the countryside. Pune thus was totally in shambles and ruins. When the people living around came to know that Jizabai has returned to Pune with Shivaji, they took heart. Jizabai called all of them and reassured them that they would be safe in Pune. People started settling in Pune, cultivating their lands. Jizabai had the dilap- dilapidated temples repaired. In the temples, worship began morning and evening. The town was again throbbing with people. Thus, Pune was totally transformed. The achievements of Dadaji Kondev. When Jizabai and Shivaji were in Karnataka, Dadaji Kondev looked after the Pune Jagir. He was the Subedar of Kondana also. He was very faithful, he was strict, efficient, and honest in his work. He was also just and a strict disciplinarian. He served with devotion. At about this time, a big wada or residence was built in Pune by the orders of Shahajiraji. It became it came to be known as Lal Mahal. To encourage the peasants to till their lands, Dadaji gave them concessions in the land tax for a few years. He offered prizes for destroying the walls which infested the countryside and harassed the peasants. Many walls were killed. He raised peasants' patrols to protect life and property from the gangs of thieves who roamed the countryside. He fixed land revenue according to the quality of soil. So, he thus made the people happy. In the field of agricultural reform and revenue collection, the work done by Dadaji Kondev and the Nizam Shahi Wazir Malik Ambar is considered to be very important. Shivaji's education. When Shivaji returned to Pune, his education continued under the supervision of Jizabai. While returning from Bangalore, Jizabai and Shivaji were accompanied by eminent teachers sent by Shahaji Raje. They taught him many science branches of learning and languages. Shivaji acquired the knowledge of excellent administration, war tactics, fort architecture, selection of horses and elephants, ways of escaping from difficult enemy territories, and many other things. Shivaji's progress in education pleased Jizabai very much. What Veer Mata Jizabai taught Shivaji. Jizabai was no ordinary woman. She was the daughter of mighty Sardar Lakhujirao Zadav and the wife of the brave and valiant Shahaji Raje. She had inherited the knowledge of politics and warfare from her infancy. In her was witnessed the confluence of the martial tradition of the famous houses of the Jadavas and Bhosles. She was a freedom loving person with a great sense of pride. She had learned, thought, bitter experiences that, however much a Maratha Sardar displayed valor, it was not appreciated in the courts of sultans. She had valiantly faced the shock of her father's murder in the open court at the instigation of Nizam Shah. She had resolved that her son Shivaji would never be engaged in the services of others. He would establish the rule of his own people, Swaraj. She was bringing up Shivaji with that ideal. The people living in the Mawar region were called Mawlas. They were loyal, hardworking, and quick footed. No one could surpass them in hardiness. But they were harassed by the Sultan's rule. The army of the Sultan used to plunder their villages, forcing the people to abandon their places. Nobody cared for them. Shivaji yearned to do something for these poor, miserable people. On returning home, Shivaji would talk about this to his mother. Jizabai would say, Shivba, Sri Ramachandra is the ancestor of Bhosle. Rama killed Ravan and made his people happy. The ancestor of Jadavas is Sri Krishna. He killed the Kans and brought relief to his people. You are the descendant of the both Sri Rama and Sri Krishna. You can also destroy the weak and make your subjects happy. These words of Jizabai were a source of inspiration to young Shivaji. He could remember the brave deeds of heroes of the past like Rama, Krishna, Bhim, Arjun. He thought of them all the time, whether asleep or awake. He felt that he too must fight against injustice as they did, and like them destroy the weak and bring happiness to his subjects. He thought that he should become courageous and brave like these heroes of old. The new regime of Shivaji. In Pune Jagir, the new regime of Shivaji began under the guidance of Jizabai. Shahaji Raje had already made the preparations for this. When Shahaji Raje sent Shivaji from Bangalore to Pune, he sent some very powerful, prestigious people with him. They were Samraj Nilakantha Peshwe, Balakrishna Hanumante Muzumdar, Mankoji Dahatonde Sarnobat, Raghunath Ballal Sabnis, Sonopat Dabir. These were all able men fit to administer an independent kingdom. Shahaji Raje had specially deputed them to Pune to help Shivaji govern his Jahagir efficiently. With their help, Shivaji began to administer his Jahagir to attend the people's grievances. Those who inflicted injustice upon the riot were punished. In a way, Shahaji Raje's Jagir was undergoing a transformation. The Mavlas got a glimpse of the future Swaraj. It was, as it were, the dawn of the Swaraj. Shivaji's marriage. In those days, people married at a very early age. So Jijamata said,